Second time recording this. Here we go. So scene size up. First one is a two-vehicle car accident. One appears on its hood. The other one's on four wheels, front end damage. We are off of the roadway. Appears to be in a gas station parking lot, which is good. So we're not really worried about traffic. Still parking the ambulance defensively to not allow traffic into the scene. Gain law enforcement, gain fire. There appears to be no liquids draining from the vehicle at this time, so that hazard kind of is gone. But again, fire could erupt at any point, so having fire there just in case. And then the red vehicle could still roll. Probably the gray one is still pretty stabilized, but red one could roll. So again, the vehicle stabilized, having power cut to both vehicles. Doesn't appear to have any airbags deployed in any vehicle, so that's not great. At least two patients, two vehicles, two patients, probably more than that. So at least get another ambulance en route, law enforcement fire as well. Patient's injuries, no airbags deployed. There was a rollover, so neck trauma, head trauma, chest trauma with the steering wheel. What hazard need to be managed? Traffic, we're in a parking lot. Again, off of the roadway, but still needs to manage traffic, so parking the ambulance defensively. I guess airbags are a hazard. Vehicle could roll. So again, it stabilized. What hazards could be? If the vehicles catch light, we're next to a gas station. Gas station catch light, not great. What they need to ensure the safety of crew and patient. Parking the ambulance defensively, getting everything stabilized prior to treating the patient. Again, I don't see any patients in the vehicle, so hopefully they're able to escape. Did they give in-current crew an accurate representation? I think so. Two vehicle car accident. One is on its hood. At least two patients at this time. There appears to be no patients in both vehicles. Vehicles are off the roadway into a gas station parking lot. Cool. Next one, we have a cowboy underneath a cow or a bull. So what does this tell about the patient's injuries? Appears to be the bull is stepping on the patient's head and neck. So probably severe crushed injuries to the head and neck, maybe some broken bones, maybe crushed windpipe. So assessing the patient's airway would be pretty important, and mental status and all that. What resources will I need? So hopefully, again, one patient, so one ambulance. Hopefully, if they're more severe, having a second one just to kind of help in the back, because we run with one patient or one care provider in the back. Big issue is the cow or the bull itself. So I assume the people at the rodeo would be able to handle the bull itself and getting it corralled away. But if not, having law enforcement come, having animal control come, kind of handle the animal itself. Because we're at a rodeo, there could be a lot of people, family, friends, crowding the patient. So having law enforcement kind of establish a perimeter would be good. Hazards that aren't present but could be, there could be more than one bull. Again, just trying to get that corralled away so it wouldn't affect us. What do I need to ensure the safety of the crew and patient? Waiting for that bull to be put away prior to assessing the patient. Kind of keeping one eye up, just making sure nothing else gets released while we're in there. Looking for any additional people that might be drunk or belligerent because it's a rodeo and people drink. Incoming crew and accurate representation. I think so. We have one patient had its head and neck stood on by a bull after riding it. Patient appears unconscious. That's all we can really tell from now. Bull is safely put away. Scene is safe, right? Next one, we have a lady laying unconscious in a crosswalk with blood. So initial MOI, either hit by a car, stabbed, shot, or something like that. What resources will I need? Law enforcement. If it is a car accident, fire. If it's not a car accident, just law enforcement and EMS. Appears to be in broad daylight, laying in the middle of a road. So traffic is an issue at this point. So making sure parking the ambulance defensively, making sure our scene is well secured. If there does appear to be a shady guy around, if they were shot, the person who did it, the gunman could still be around, so making sure they are not around at the point. What hazards need to be managed? So roadway, potential gunmen, law enforcement will handle that. Establish perimeter, scene is safe. If it's not, the situation just doesn't look right, parking around a few blocks over enough to where you couldn't really be found, and waiting for the police to clear the scene prior to going in. Um, we're pretty close to the patient already, so maybe just an emergency grab, go into the ambulance, get going instead of oh crap, and then running away. What do I need to do to ensure the safety of the crew and patient? Um, Again, parking ambulance defensively. If the situation doesn't appear to be safe, then parking and waiting for law enforcement to come. Um, yeah. Did I give an incoming accurate representation? So we have one female, 20s, 30s, laying on the ground unconscious. Blood to be appears to be bleeding. Um, Sitting in the middle of the roadway. We need law enforcement and fire. Secure the scene. Um, yeah. Next one. We have a airplane rolled over on its hood. Not its hood. Its back or upside down. I guess that's what you'd call it. Um, so the airplane initially injuries. Um, Airplanes move pretty fast. So, and I don't quite know the safety mechanisms within it. Hopefully they have airbags, but so airplane rolled over. What caused the airplane to crash? Is the pilot okay prior to the crash? Did they have a stroke, seizure, anything that caused it? Carbon monoxide in the cockpit, something that would cause them to crash. Um, and then when it crashed, the trauma associated with it, so whiplash within the neck, any damage to the neck. If the airplane doesn't have airbags, could have some chest trauma from the steering wheel, head trauma from hitting the dashboard. Um, it appears to sit more than one person, this airplane, so there could be multiple patients. So if there appears to be multiple patients, getting multiple ambulances around, there appears to be no jet fuel that's leaking. It's off the roadway, which is good, but getting fire there just in case it does catch light. Somehow disconnecting power. I wouldn't touch it. I don't know about airplanes, but disconnecting power to the vehicle. Um, Maybe blocking the ambulance slightly defensively, so we're taking that first lane just to give traffic another keep moving, and not really driving right next to the scene. Um, yeah, hazard needs to be managed. Again, making sure it appears to be pretty stable, but maybe it could roll while we're in there. So making sure the airplane is stabilized. What do I need to do to ensure the safety of the crew and patient? Making sure the scene is safe, stabilized, no jet fuels leaking, no fire, no smoke. Um, If traffic is concerned, we're next to a roadway, but again, we're not in it. Incoming crew and accurate representation. So we have a small aircraft rolled over, crashed on the side of the road. We at least have one patient at this time. We need law enforcement and fire. We'll be doing a 360, no jet fuel, no smoke, no fire. More to come, as we get closer. Next one is a fist fight at a concert or festival. Patient's injuries, so appears to be no knives, no guns, or anything. So it's going to be blunt force trauma, maybe concussion, possible bruised or cracked ribs, or broken bones. Um, maybe broken knuckles as well. What resources will I need? So the obvious one is security or police or law enforcement. We can't go in until the scene is safe. So waiting for them to come. So that's our first call. There's 4 guys. One guy's being up pretty badly. So, but maybe 4 patients. So getting multiple ambulances around or multiple care providers. Probably they're going to get refusals on them, but just in case, always want to have more resources than not. Hazards that could become so hazards people are fighting could keep sprawling out. What hazards could become if we got too close, maybe that their aggression would turn towards us, so staying back fully. What do I need to do to ensure the safety of the crew and patient? Again, standing back, letting the fight develop. I'm not trying to break it up. That's law enforcement's job. Maybe if there is a patient that is like crawling away, we could drag them away to help them, but really trying not to get involved until the fight's broken up completely. Income crew and accurate representation. So we have a 4-person fight near the porta potties at the festival. We need law enforcement Everyone appears to be conscious. No guns or weapons or anything at this time. Keep updated, right? Next one, we have a man laying unconscious next to a park bench with an axe. Axe doesn't appear to have any blood on it. Patient does appear to be bleeding. Patient appears unconscious. Kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies. Could be like a trap, you know. So tell us about the patient's injuries. Patient is unconscious next to the axe. So presumably, the axe hit the patient. There could be some internal injuries or some external bleeding, broken bones, stuff like that. Um, Again, nothing really seems to be bleeding. So it could be that the patient just had the axe and became unconscious. Patients on the ground, so could have fallen, so C-spine precaution, stroke, seizure, sepsis, sugar, trauma. Just why is the patient unconscious on the ground? If the scene doesn't appear to be safe, calling law enforcement in to help out. We're in daylight, you know, patient does appear to be alone. But could be a trap. Maybe the patient's laying in wait for us. Who knows? Um, so resources, currently one patient, one ambulance, um, law enforcement just to get to the scene to secure it, get a perimeter. What hazards need to be managed? If there is somebody else, that's the hazard. Getting that axe away from the patient. Maybe they wake up and start using the axe on us. So getting the axe away from the patient, keeping your head on a swivel, making sure no one sneaks up on us. Hazards that could become, again, someone could come back and try and finish the job on this guy. Um, what do I need to do to ensure the safety of crew and patient? If the scene doesn't look safe, don't enter the scene. Park around the corner or far enough away that nobody could find us if they were trying to. Um, After the scene is secure, like it kind of appears to be, going in, making sure we're moving that weapon away from the patient, assessing the patient, C-spine precaution. Um, Incoming crew and accurate reputation. Arriving on scene, one man found unconscious on the ground, laying next to an axe. Patient is supine. Patient doesn't appear to be bleeding. Axe doesn't have any blood on it. There's no one else around. Calling in law enforcement. Yeah, cool. Next one, we have a two-vehicle car accident. I believe the woman in red is the driver of the silver vehicle with her friend laying on the hood. So at least a a three-patient car accident. Um, One patient appears to be out of the vehicle, severe front end damage. Kind of looks like a T-boned. We have one patient laying unconscious on the hood of the vehicle that went through the windshield. Probably wasn't with their seatbelt. Um, I think I do. I think there are some airbags that deployed, some airbags deployed, which is good. Um, Tell us about the patient's injuries. So, depending on, again, pretty severe front end damage. Um, probably pretty going fast. So this first person, the woman in red, maybe was wearing a seatbelt. That's why she's not as injured. Woman in blue went through the windshield, so damage to trauma to the head, unconscious, maybe damage to the chest. Kind of assessing, so maybe some brain damage to that patient. The other car T-boned them, so maybe some broken bones on the left-hand side. Can't really see if airbags deployed there. Hazards, car accident, so fluids could be leaking. Can't really tell. We're on the roadway, so parking defensively, making sure no vehicles hit us. So parking defensively, getting people out there with signs, law enforcement on scene, fire on scene, getting the vehicles stabilized so the vehicles don't roll while we're in them. Getting power cut to the vehicle so the airbags don't further deploy while we're in there. What do I need to do to ensure the safety of the crew? Again, scene safety, parking defensively, making sure the vehicles are safe to enter, getting the patients out, getting enough resources, at least a couple ambulances, incoming crew and accurate representation, two-vehicle car accident. One appeared to T-bone the other. We have at least three patients. One woman appears to be out. We have another woman laying unconscious on the hood of the vehicle, not moving, no flames, some smoke, law enforcement, fire, another ambulance. This one, we have a man appears to be entrapped in a vehicle, appears to have a vehicle containing gravel, crashed into it, dumping some gravel onto it. Man appears to be entrapped. With entrapment, appears to be the man's legs that are entrapped. I think the man's conscious in it, but it could be just from where his hand is. I don't think someone unconscious would have their hand there. But legs could be entrapped. Could cause some crushing injuries. If we were to relieve that pressure, causing the toxins to go to the heart and stop it, it's not good. Um, so maybe some broken bones in the legs. Maybe no airbags seem to be deployed at this time. Um, it looks like he was in a pretty good pocket, safe haven. So it doesn't look like that injury really gone besides his legs, which is good. Head doesn't appear to be injured. Some little red marks on the arm, so maybe some injuries to the arm. But just assessing the patient while they're still in the vehicle, that's what we'd have to do. Make sure both vehicles are stabilized. We're in the roadway, so traffic and parking defensively. Getting people with signs, law enforcement, fire. Don't know if fluids are leaking. The other vehicle appears to be on a curb, kind of leaning. So make sure that vehicle is secured. And then fire, trying to get the patient out from the entrapment. Hazard to be managed, roadway, fluids, um, entrapment. What are hazards that could become? And then also second patient, maybe the driver of appears to be the driver of the truck with gravel, was the one maybe caused the accident. So there could be two patients, get another ambulance. What are not hazards that could? Again, traffic, fire, flames, all that. What do I need to do to ensure safety of crew and patient? Making sure the vehicles are stabilized before entering, making sure traffic control is set, trying to help the patient while they're still entrapped if we can. Incoming crew, an accurate representation, two vehicle car accident. We have one patient entrapped in a vehicle, appears to have gravel poured over on them. Patient legs seem to be entrapped, patient is conscious. We need law enforcement, fire, blocking the left lane. Cool. Moving on, we have a two vehicle car accident. One is rolled over onto its hood. We have at least four patients. We have how we got that. We have one patient in the back seat. There had to be a driver for that vehicle. We have another patient in the back seat of the other vehicle. Had to be a driver for that one. Probably also assuming people don't usually sit in the back, so there probably have to be a passenger as well. So maybe five patients total. Or six, because there would be another passenger for this vehicle too. So maybe six patients. Getting multiple ambulances en route. We had one patient in the red car, pretty bloodied up. Appears to be unconscious, probably, or he would have stepped out. His head probably broke the window, shattering it. So maybe some brain trauma, some head trauma. The other patient appears to be entrapped under the vehicle, under the rollover. Leg appears to be trapped. Probably not, but kind of appears it. Patient's skin is pretty ashy. Don't know if they're trying to make the patient look dead or not. There's alcohol containers. What resources will I need? Multiple ambulances, fire. Appears to be in a parking lot, so traffic isn't as big of a concern as on a roadway, but still having people set up a perimeter, making sure no vehicles enter the scene. Hazards, making sure the vehicles, I don't see airbags deploy. So cutting power to the vehicles, make sure the vehicles are stabilized prior to emergency workers entering and helping out. Fire, fluids, all that could become right. What do I need to do to ensure the safety of the crew and patient? Again, managing the hazards, making sure all the vehicles are stabilized prior to entering. Another big one, there's alcohol on scene, so maybe the patient become belligerent. So again, law enforcement there to kind of help out. Also, alcohol and maybe a death, so law enforcement should be there. Incoming crew and accurate representation. So we have a two vehicle car accident, one rolled over on its hood. At least six patients. We need at least let's do 3 ambulances en route currently. Law enforcement and fire. No flames, no smoke showing. Vehicles need to be stabilized. No airbags deployed. One patient appears to be deceased and entrapped underneath the vehicle. Cool. And alcohol on scene. Next one, we have an old man next to a tractor. Injuries. So again, what caused the tractor to roll over? Could it be the man was unconscious and the tractor rolled over after that? That could be it. Patient doesn't appear to be entrapped at all, so that's good. maybe some head trauma from falling off of it, maybe some broken bones. Um, what resources will I need? Probably an ambulance. Probably not need law. Probably need fire just to stabilize the vehicle. The tractor looks pretty stable already, but fluids or fire could erupt from it, so having fire there. What hazards need to be managed? Again, stabilizing the vehicle, getting the patient away from it. What are some hazards that could become? Fire, fluids, vehicle becomes unstable. Ensure safety of crew and patient, not entering the scene until we know the tractor is stable. Um, did I give the incoming crew an accurate rotation? We have an old man next to a tractor that appears to be rolled over. Patient doesn't appear entrapped. Patient is unconscious at this moment. Patient is not moving. We need we need law enforcement, fire, and just one ambulance at this time. Next one, we have horror-like conditions. So the horror-like conditions, we don't really know anything about the patient, except what we know about horror-like conditions. So there could be chemical hazards, biological hazards, there could be gas hazards, or environmental hazards. Yeah. With the patients, hoarders tend to not go outside their house often. So maybe they had like a simple infection that slowly progressed. So maybe the patient is not doing too hot if they called us or someone else went and checked on them and called us. Um, we want law enforcement just in case, maybe this isn't like an old lady and this is some kids live here. The kids need to get out of this environment. Um, Getting fire there as well, just because we don't know if the patient or if the home is a safe environment. Maybe there could be some fumes, carbon monoxide. We don't know why the patient called. So getting a 4-gas meter. Also, maybe I think we'd probably carry the patient out in this case. The trash doesn't appear too high, but wearing full PPE, um, if the trash was too high or egress was too difficult, we could cut a hole in the building to get the patient out, with some justification. Yeah. Resources, fire, law enforcement, hazards to be managed, just environmental, don't know what's in there, wearing full PPE, gowns, booties, gloves, face masks. Yeah. Um, do in order to or to ensure safety of crew. Again, wearing full PPE, getting law enforcement, fire, making sure the air quality is okay, and give crew an accurate representation. 2-story house, horror-like conditions, unknown where the patient is within the house, unknown of any hazards at this point. We need law enforcement and fire. Last one, we have a meth lab. So associated with the meth lab, environmental hazards. I say environmental. I guess hazmat hazards right now. With the meth lab, people protect it, so there could be some people who are angry about us being there, that we are for somebody. So being on our toes, we definitely wouldn't enter the situation. We'd call law enforcement. We'd call hazmat. Um, if there is a patient within it, hazmat would bring them out, decontaminate the patient, and then hand them off to EMS. Um, so right. So tell us about the patient's injuries. So it could be an inhalation injury, could be an overdose, could be a burn. There's a lot of different hazards. Could be not even related to the meth lab, but hazards need to be managed. The meth lab needs to be managed. So hazmat, law enforcement, fire. Hazards that could become, maybe there was a leak, maybe the area become a hazard itself. So setting up a good perimeter, doing your thumb and checking it. What do I need to do to ensure the safety of crew and patient? Setting up a perimeter, not making sure anybody goes in there who's not supposed to. If it is a meth lab, people are protecting it probably, so making sure the stage for the scene is safe. Waiting for hazmat to decontaminate the patient prior to helping the patient. We don't want to become patients ourselves. Give an incoming accurate representation. We have it looks like a college like science lab, doesn't look like a meth lab. But we have a lab, possible hazard, possible patients. Cool.